Want to take a look at some of the rarest Game Boys in Japan? Then make sure to watch to the end.
I drove around Japan for 2 weeks straight, going into every second-hand shop we could find.
Nice.
Looking at some of the rarest retro games and consoles ever made.
And it looks like he had some good experiences as well. That's awesome. Nice, the retro future, getting out of the UK, broadening his horizons. Nice.
Over the next couple of months, I'll be taking you guys along the journey with me as we explore this beautiful country and see what insane stuff we can buy.
Nice.
These videos were made entirely possible by Sendico. They're a service which allows you to buy all of the things you love from Japan and ship it all in one box to your door anywhere in the world.
Nice.
But more on them later.
I have used Sendico. It is a great service. I had no problem with it the one time I used it. And I would like to use it again. So if that tells you anything, there you go.
This is episode 1.
Diver City, Tokyo Plaza. Okay. Tokyo!
The flight to Japan took me nearly 14 hours. I had hardly slept at all, so I was running on fumes.
I guess so.
Japan is 8 hours ahead, so the first days were tough. But not long after stepping off the plane, we found the first hard off.
The little bit of jet lag, then, is what he's talking about. That's always difficult. But what an unfortunate sounding name. Hard Off. Something about that sounds strangely suggestive, we'll say.
Hard Off is a chain of second-hand stores, which are all over the country. It's
Okay.
anyone's guess as to what you'll find in these shops, but they seem to sell literally anything.
Nice.
Gaming is huge everywhere in the world, but in Japan, it seems to be bigger. So the game sections in these shops were just overflowing with amazing stuff.
Sick.
Nearly all of which comes from Japan in the first place, so you can find some very special items which we might not have gotten in the rest of the world.
Man, I feel like there were more shops like this in the US in the past, and I feel like they're not as prevalent anymore, which is kind of sad. Maybe it's just where I live, but here in Oregon, I don't know, you just don't find them everywhere, and if you do, they don't really always have a lot of options. Like, maybe they focus in on one console or one kind of generation or something, but they don't really have, like, a nice, I don't know, extensive reservoir of, retro gaming. And it's kind of sad. I wish there was more of it. So it looks like it's a little bit more extensive here in Japan, at least from what he's experiencing. Let's check it out.
This Panasonic Cube, for example, was only released in Japan, and it's insanely hard to find with the Game Boy attachment.
I've never even seen that. It looks like a GameCube knockoff. This is really cool. Oh, all the PSPs lined up. That's so sick. And the PS Vita. The Wonder Swan.
That's a lot more expensive, but that's a Hello Kitty one. It's quite a rare one.
Hello
the Game
Kitty.
Boy Light's expensive, but you can.
Hey. If we're going to bring up Hello Kitty, I got to break out my Hello Kitty Game Boy Pocket. It's legit. What can I say? No, I mean, yeah. I have it. I have it.
Only get them in Japan. There are stacks and stacks of games, all of which are going to be in Japanese.
Yeah.
But this also means that they have different labels featuring much cooler artwork.
Dude, that's what I was just thinking as he was showing off these boxes. Like, wow, the artwork looks awesome. It looks way cooler than some of the American artwork, I swear. That's something about Japan, man. They're so good at, like, really endearing, like, fun and, like, feel-good characters and, like, art. I don't know if that makes sense, but, like, just looking at this artwork here is like, oh, these characters are cute, but they're also, like, charming, Like, oh, this is something that I would kind of want to check out just because it's like, oh, this is interesting. They're quirky in a good way, like fun, and okay, interesting.
Every hard-off has a junk section, which is literally buckets and buckets of this so-called junk.
Yeah.
But one man's rubbish is another man's Game Boy YouTube repair videos. Is it a cradle for 100 yen? Yeah. There's two of them.
It's a treasure trove.
Oh, that was for the karaoke, the Nintendo 64 karaoke. One thing I thought would be sick was to wear a GoPro and rummage through the buckets of junk and see what cool stuff we could find. So expect lots of that over the next few weeks.
Nice. Definitely. Beat Mania. Whoa. Lots of loose cartridges and discs. Oh man, DS Lite. Ooh, some classic cameras. That's cool. Nice.
I'll be showing you the absolute huge haul of stuff I bought from this trip at the end of the series, and we can go through it all. And I'll be giving away so much of it, so make sure you stick around.
Cool. That's nice of him. Wow. Here we are in Tokyo, Japan. Man, I'd love to go to Japan.
We were just about to head back to the hotel, and we've just driven past a little game shop. So we're going to check it out.
Those hole-in-the-wall places are always the best. You gotta check them out. Look at this. This totally is a hole in the wall, too. If you weren't looking clearly, you would not see this.
Still in Tokyo, but it seems like we're in the middle of nowhere. And then there's just a random TV game shop.
Nice.
No way.
Hey,
now, this
3DS.
random little shop was awesome. It was very reasonably priced for Tokyo, and I actually ended up buying a few bits from here.
Nice.
9,000 yen, $67, or £54 for a minty boxed Game Boy Color is a very reasonable price. In most cases, that's what a slightly gross unit only would cost you in the UK on eBay. And remember, this is being sold in a store in the middle of a city. I saw this awesome Starlight Gold GameCube, which is a Japanese exclusive, and this one was boxed, and for hardly any money, and a Hyperboy, which I've reviewed before on the channel. Speaking of which, here's a few awesome accessories I've made videos on.
Sorry, I'm forgetting about the React part of the React videos. Man, it's overwhelming. There's so many bits and baubles and pieces of hardware and games and oh man, there's so much going on. Look at this. This is sick right here. Just the Pikachu artwork on the side of this random box. Man, I would love to do this. I would love to dive into these little hole-in-the-wall shops and just see what I could find. That'd be so fun. Dance, Dance Revolution. Break it down.
At this point, I was completely disheveled, hanging on by a thin thread, but fueled by the bargains I pushed on.
Yes. And oh, I'm sure there were some bargains. Ooh, that was a original NES joystick controller, I believe. That's cool.
I bought this. It's a waterproof Game Boy case. I've actually made a video on one of these, but I got rid of it. So.
That's kind of nice.
And then, yeah, this is a DS game that you plug the game into, and then you can you interact basically in the real world with this, which uses the same technology as a mouse.
That's cool.
And then we also picked up an actual DS Lite. 1100.
That is a clean looking DS Lite. Like, that looks barely used. Wow.
100 yen, works perfectly, and it's in great condition. So this whole thing came to about £18.
Nice.
I recommend it. £18.
TV Game Shop. There in Japan.
I'm much more with it today, so we're going to get a lot more actually filmed on the vlog. Hopefully some more hard-offs, hopefully some more amazing food. Let's go.
Heck yeah. Lawson Station. Oh man, seeing the blossoms. I bet this guy had a blast. This sounds like a good time.
Day 2 was filled with even cooler stuff.
So, am I crazy, or is it like a Japanese culture thing to like not talk on trains or like subways? I believe that's true. If so, those trains / subways or whatever get so packed. Like, I've seen clips of just back-to-back people and side to side, just like you're literally like cramming your shoulders into your jawline to make room for everybody, and yet you don't talk to each other or on the phone or anything. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy to me.
It was time to head into the heart of it all in Tokyo, Akihabara.
That's like the anime center, I believe?
This is the place. Here is where we're going to find some of the coolest retro tech on this planet. It's likely to be insanely expensive, but still really cool to see.
Yeah.
We're going to start in the famous Super Potato. There's a few of these around the country, and this one is perhaps...
I've never heard of Super Potato. That is such a bizarre name, but I'm totally with it. I'm ready to learn about Super Potato. Share all of your secrets.
It's the most iconic. Immediately on the right as you walk in, there's a junk box filled with goodies like this old Famicom in need of a bit of a restoration.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of display cabinets scattered around which featured the absolute creme de la creme.
Bandai.
Unfortunately, most of it isn't for sale, which was painful, but you know, I have most of it already.
Ooh, Konami.
Speaking of something I have, here's an Imagineer glow-in-the-dark Game Boy Pocket, which was an astonishing £1,000.
£1,000, but it's glow in the dark. That's sick.
I'm sorry, Super Potato, but for that price, it's a Super Potato.
Yeah,
they also had
that's
a
fair.
Famitsu Game Boy Pocket and an ultra-rare Pokemon Game Boy Micro for £2,600. Bloody mashed potato.
Ooh. Yeah, no thank you. That's a big price tag.
Here's a bunch more things, not for sale. A Famitsu Game Boy Light and a signed Famitsu Game Boy Pocket.
Woo!
There's a few insanely rare console variations like this Dreamcast that I had never seen before. And honestly, this blew my mind.
What? Is that Shaman King?
The Super D Damon, I've got no idea, edition. There's less than 50 of these in the world. There was also a few very...
Less than 50. Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Rare boxed promotional Game Boys like this ANA Airlines Game Boy Pocket and a really cool Lions Game Boy Pocket with the
Sick.
bag it even came with. Then we saw the first ever Pokemon Edition Game Boy Color with the lowest
That's
serial
amazing.
number possible. This was certainly a Super Potato, whatever that means.
Oh, I like that. Pikachu style Nintendo DS Lite. Nice.
And to finish it off,
Seeing so many like limited editions and stuff like that, it's crazy to me how much collectible stuff there is within Game Boy. Like, man, I just remember having my like aquamarine-ish, greenish, tealish Game Boy Color. You know, I had an original Game Boy, a red Game Boy Pocket, and the purple Game Boy Advance. And, I loved them. I played games on them all the time. And I didn't really think about how there might be cooler, like more limited edition or special, limited creation models. It's just crazy.
Hudson Game Boy Pocket. Good golly. I found nothing about this online, so I can only assume it might be a one-off.
Okay.
Heading around with the GoPro just to take a look at a couple more bits. Here's a lovely Famicom disc system and a Mega CD2, as well as a Mega CD. And here's a look at the sheer amount of games. You could easily spend an entire day.
Look at the shelves. Look at the racks. Just covered. Like, as far as I can tell, floor to ceiling, Like, that's crazy.
In here looking through all of these.
Wow.
But there's more to see elsewhere, so let's pop upstairs quickly and then let's head out.
That's so cool. An arcade? Giant Game Boy? What? That's sick.
The streets in this place were flooded with buckets of junk. Before we even made it to the hard off, there was a shop next to it with a Famicom Sharp console, super rare and exclusive to Japan. They also had a wall of faulty PSPs for under $20 each. It was amazing to see that people of all age ranges were rummaging through this junk. Even this dude looking at a couple of old games.
That's awesome. Maybe he still plays, or maybe it's more likely that it's for a grandkid or something like that. But still, you never know.
Here's a really cool box Super Scope for the Super Famicom.
I didn't even know there was a Super Scope for the Famicom, or the Super Famicom. That's crazy. That looks sick. I love the look of that. That's awesome.
Scope for the Super Famicom. There wasn't anything of much interest in the junk boxes, but I promise some of the stores we'll go into later in this series will blow your mind.
Okay. I love the promise of that.
So we just went into the hard off, and to be honest with you, there isn't a lot there. And that does make sense given that this is in the middle of the most popular area to come. But it was...
That makes sense. If it's in a super popular area, maybe it's just cleaned out all the time.
Still obviously nice to see all these random bits just hanging up for sale, because you don't really get to see stuff like that in the UK. We're in such an amazing part of Akihabara right now. There's literally just like stands on the side of the roads with stuff for sale. It's incredible. It's sensory overload, but it's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Before we explore the Tokyo nightlife,
I would so love it, man. I would be in there like all day, just diving in. What you got? What can I look at? What kind of stuff you got? Oh man, what kind of cool collector's items or limited editions or whatever can I add to my collection? That would be so fun.
Let's head into one final hard off. A few really cool games, including this Castlevania, but actually quite slim pickings.
I like me some Castlevania.
You can see this Game Boy Advance is so overpriced. Honestly, the difference in price in Tokyo versus some of the other places we went to in the country is huge. Boom. That is bright.
These guys, you can tell they're just goofing off, having a good time.
It's kind of sick though.
Please don't turn that on.
Nighttime in Tokyo. It's time to go and find some food and find a place to go and get a drink. I thought I'd bring you along with us because we're in a really, really cool area in Tokyo. And the place where we're going to get some food is really beautiful. So let's go and check it out.
Let's see what you got. What is your tastes like, the Retro Future? I'm not familiar. You don't normally do this sort of thing in your videos. Please tell me it's not Subway. You're in Japan. Come on.
We headed into this Wagyu restaurant, and I genuinely ate some of the most delicious food of my life.
Okay. Wagyu restaurant. That sounds fancy.
So I might be a little bit drunk. I also might be experiencing quite a lot of jet lag. I need to show you this area that we're in, and I don't know where we are, so I'll put it on the screen. This is how you get
Shinjuku Golden Gai.
Right?
Okay.
And you could walk past it and continue in that direction. Or you go down here. Come with me. You've got the vending machines. You've got the cute little bars.
That's
You've got other
sick.
streets. You've got amazing signs absolutely everywhere.
I love the neon, or just maybe not neon, but just all the bright and colorful signs everywhere. And the fact that it just looks like an alleyway, but it's packed with stuff. That's cool.
If you come further down, alleyways, random alleyways, staircases.
That's so cool.
Go up those stairs. And then, let's go down here. I've teleported into
It's just literally holes in the wall places everywhere. That's so cool.
another row of tiny staircases, of alleyways, of signs everywhere.
That's so cool.
I am truly in one of the most amazing places I've ever been to in my life. This place at nighttime was just breathtaking. The lights,
That's so cool.
the streets, the little alleyways, the atmosphere, pure culture.
And you could tell it was bustling too. You heard the voices and everything in the background, people carrying on, people having some drinks, you know, loosening up a little bit. Man, it just sounds like a lot of fun. Seems like a lot of fun. I would enjoy the heck out of that.
A contrast like I had never witnessed before.
Yeah.
Everything I had read about Japan in old books by Yukio Mishima and Murakami, I was in it. I was there.
Yeah. Heck yeah, look at that. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Man, so much to see and do. And so different from our culture.
We had such an amazing night, and I was feeling so euphoric and grateful for this opportunity. If it wasn't for Sendeko, none of this would have been possible.
Heck yeah, man.
I've been working with them for years now, and they've been so great to me. They're responsible for all of the amazing things I've bought over the years on this channel, so I urge you to go and check them out. They have very low fees and excellent customers.
He's wrapping up, so I'm just going to wrap it up as well. That was really good. We saw some really cool items. Man, in my opinion, I would say that limited run Game Boy Color, or no, I'm sorry, the limited run Game Boy Pocket, that there was only like 50 units of. That was definitely the coolest item. Or that rifle, the Super Nintendo like rifle attachment. That was sick. I didn't even know that existed. So cool. What would you guys think? Were there some Nintendo items that you'd never seen before? Let me know in the comments. Leave a like, a subscribe, and I'll see you next time.